Okay, so we are here in a tier list maker today because we are going to be ranking every single BGSI update from basically best to worst and all that in between basically. So of course these are the tiers we have right here, with the best update being the absolute best of the best. We've got on top tier as well, which are of course very fun updates, very good updates, full of a lot of new features. We've got on decent, which will be like updates which were, pretty fun. Didn't really add too much, but were still pretty fun to play through. We've got on meh, pretty bad updates, nothing really to do. And then we've got a horrendous. These are updates which are so bad, they basically nearly killed the game. So let's just get straight into it with release. Now release, going straight into top tier because it was the release of the game. We had a lot of things to grind through. We had of course the whole of World 1 already fully fleshed out. We had the brand new Infinity Egg, which was a really fun thing to play around with. We had the new masteries, the index, all that kind of thing. Honestly, comparing it to probably the BGS 1 release, honestly BGSI release was probably better because we had so many different things to grind through. Of course we had all the index rewards as well, and we had a lot of new like potions and things and stuff like that. So honestly it was really fun just to kind of learn the game, play the game and grind through all of these like kind of different things that we can get. So honestly release was well worth the hype. Next up we have update 1, and wow, what an update to start with. Again, this is going to go into top tier because update 1 really was quite insane. Now update 1 had the special egg hunt for Easter, and of course it had like the whole limited world. It had the first limited eggs and all that kind of stuff. We had 2 new limited time eggs actually, which had the giant choco chicken and also had the Easter basket in. We had some brand new mastery things like auto enchant and different things like that as well, which were really cool. I think it also introduced the infinity and whatever the other enchants, the special enchants basically, introduced those in as well. So honestly, to say we had so many new features and a lot of new eggs as well in update 1 really was absolutely insane, and it kind of felt like a whole second release, to be honest. Comparing it to like the actual release, it just felt like it kind of matched the release pretty much, which is hard to do for an update. So honestly, very good indeed for the first update. Update 1.5, again of course was only half an update technically. However, comparing it to some other updates on this list, update 1.5 honestly could have just been its own update in on itself. However, basically what this added in, it added in the Bubble Up Challenge Pass, which had like the limited time golden boxes, which now I think are quite rare to actually get. However, this is going to be the same thing as what we have right now in like the festival area with that kind of pass. So it was pretty fun to go through. We had another new brand new egg, which was the throwback Easter egg, which again was really good. We also got introduced to the 250 times value sell your gum area kind of thing, which is again really fun. And I think we also got a new currency game pass as well, the ×2 currency game pass. So honestly, for half an update, really was not too bad whatsoever. Now we're moving into update 2. Now, update 2 was alright. Technically, it was alright. It was the competitive season, so it was okay. But honestly, because it wasn't really well fleshed out, the competitive season, of course, being the first season, they didn't really have much of a balance for it. So honestly, it wasn't really great. And of course, people were kind of just like skipping between teams. And as you saw, probably at the end of the whole competitive season, people had changed teams so much that people from like top 200 literally fell off the leaderboard, which is kind of insane. So honestly, update 2, it was okay, but it wasn't really fleshed out. We also did have the 100 million live event egg as well, which was pretty good, and the silly rift. However, overall, meh. It was okay. I do also think it was maybe the trading plaza update. I'm not too sure. Maybe that was the next update. But yeah, anyways, update 2, pretty meh. Now we're moving on to update 3. Now update 3 again, very good update. This again introduced so many new features. Of course, it was the start of World 2, which of course was the mini game paradise. It added in the brand new board game. It added in the egg, which had a timer on it as well, which is pretty cool. It added in some new mini games like the pet match, the kart escape, the robot claw. We had some new masteries as well. And no, sorry, this one was the one which had the training plaza in. So yeah, again, a very big update. Of course, overall, I believe also was the start of season 2. So honestly, update 3, very well done. Honestly, does have a contender to be the best update just because of how hyped it was and how many people are actually just enjoying this update in general. Honestly, not too bad whatsoever. And then we have another half update here with update 3.5. Now again, this honestly was not too bad. This one added in the secret bounty board, it also added in the underworld rift, and it added in the 200 egg as well. So honestly, not too bad. I'm going to put this in decent just because again it was only half an update. We didn't get too many new features. However, I think really just the secret bounties on its own does actually add in such a big impact for this update because of how big this secret bounties is now. Could potentially bring it into top tier just because of that. However, I am just going to keep it in decent because just like as an update on its own for like the week it had, it was okay. The underworld rift was kind of hyped up but then kind of quickly fell off. The 200 egg, I can't really even remember what was even in that egg in terms of secrets. And of course we got the guest pet as well, not too bad. Another thing that, though, which could potentially bring it up to top tier was the auto mystery box open. I believe we had like some buffs for the potions and for the shops as well. And it also did add in the mythic types for the exclusive pets as well. So honestly, not too bad realistically of an update. Honestly, I'm actually going to push us up to top tier just because of how good it was. And again, it does show really the start of the game was quite strong, considering the fact that half updates were literally considered top tier. So yeah, honestly, not too bad whatsoever. Now we're moving into update 4. Now for me personally, I didn't really play this update too much. I wasn't really too fond of it. I think I just stuck to the 200 egg. Honestly, I'm going to put this one in horrendous. Now people probably will complain about me putting it in there because it did have the hyper darts update as well, which is quite an OP minigame for people to play now. However, for me, I don't really play it. The new egg that got added in as well, I don't even remember the name of it, but I've not even completed that in the index, so it kind of goes to show that I really just don't really have too much of a fondness for it. The world rewards were kind of cool at the time, but now literally have been forgotten, so that doesn't really matter either. And of course it was also the competitive season 2 start as well. Again, really didn't care too much for it. They did kind of fix it up a little bit with like people leaving, whoever left would get like a negative 25% point penalty as well. However, yeah, honestly, it wasn't really too great for me. A lot of things kind of got changed on the board as well, which people didn't like. So for me, honestly, I'm going to put it in horrendous. It might be a little bit harsh, but it just didn't really add in too many good things in my personal opinion. Now we're moving on to, again, honestly, quite easily another top tier update. Thankfully, they did kind of fix the way the updates were going. Instead of going down, they went straight back up again with the new Beach Festival update. Now this was the first variant secret we got as well with the Sunday Champions. We had the Dragon Fruit as well, and we had 3 brand new eggs. Again, another new feature slash minigame, I guess you could say, with the metal detecting. You could get brand new rewards from the treasure index as well. We had season 3 starting, which was pretty cool, and of course some brand new exclusive eggs. However, again, just because it was such a fun update to play, and there was a couple different things to grind, it wasn't just eggs, it was also the treasure index as well. Honestly, top tier, and laid quite a good foundation for like part 2 and 3. However, I think part 2 for the update, which was update 6, was okay. It wasn't great. It did obviously add in the ancient island, which added in some brand new artifacts. It added in the ancient tokens, a brand new like spin to win thing, and of course the little treasure chest in the middle. However, it wasn't exactly amazing, I guess, in terms of how fun it was. Most people just kind of like just went AFK on the egg instead, which again was pretty cool. We did have the basilisks in that egg as well as the kraken. And I think really the saving grace though for this update was of course the event board, which basically added in a brand new event every 2 hours. So of course you had the double luck event, the extra hatch, double coins, and I think the treasure luck as well, maybe something like that, and hatch speed and things like that as well. So honestly, was pretty good, the event board. We did also get the summer login rewards and the egg elixir as well. Wow, the egg elixir, that could potentially just push it up to top tier on its own. I kind of forgot about the egg elixir being added in this update. Honestly, the egg elixir on its own, because it's so strong, and at the time was really like interesting because we got 8 hatch for the first time over 6 hatch. Honestly, just because of that, that's going to go into top tier. Wow, kind of crazy. Now, update 7. This is kind of where updates started to fall down. I'm going to go ahead and put update 7 into meh. It didn't really add too many things in, honestly. At the time it wasn't really great. I think we may have also had like a week's break around this time as well. We did get the light and dark egg, which is a cool concept. However, for people like mobile players, it didn't work for AFKing on. And of course, if you didn't have like an auto clicker and stuff to automatically click open, basically by the time the egg would refresh to the next egg, auto hatch would just break and you wouldn't be opening. So that was kind of an L overall. We got the Captain Bro quest. It wasn't really great. I didn't even bother with it. We did get Traveling Merchant. Again though, we've seen it before, so it wasn't exactly too exciting. And we've got so many shops in the game that it didn't really add too many things in. And of course we also got new exclusive pets. So honestly, I think this update was quite boring. Didn't really add too many things in. And I guess the only thing that was alright was the light and dark egg for 300 and 400 million visits. So again, it was okay. Now update 8 again kind of followed the same path. It was quite hyped up because we were getting a new world. However, the new world was just an egg. There wasn't anything in there. I think there might have been like a new pass to do, which again, the light mystery box was, I think, limited. So now of course it's quite a good thing. Again, we got daily perks. However, I didn't even know we got daily perks until like I actually noticed it, and a lot of people still now sometimes question what daily perks are, which is actually kind of interesting. But yeah, the daily perks are pretty good, of course, because you get Bubble Day, you've got the Hatch Day, and you've got the Luck Day as well. Those are the only ones that really matter. I don't really care for Minigame Day, Treasure Day, or the Shop Day too much. The Enchant Day is okay, but again, not really too great. So again, overall it was kind of a bit of a filler update. I feel like the daily perks was kind of introduced to kind of try and save the player base. I think around this time as well, the player base was dropping quite hard. So yeah, honestly, this update, it was kind of meh. Honestly, it was kind of like a little bit of a sad update. And then again, update 9, honestly, kind of continued to fall down the same path. This is going to go in horrendous because this update was just pretty boring and pretty sad, to be honest. We did get the brand new Rift, which again wasn't really exciting for anyone, to be honest, because it barely spawns in. It's quite rare to spawn in, so when you're playing the game you really won't even notice this thing spawning in anyways. We got the new Brilliant Alien quest as well, which again wasn't too fun. It was quite easy to finish, and of course it was around for 2 weeks, so literally anyone could finish it. And then of course we got the Bubble Shrine, and the Bubble Shrine is actually really good now, considering how many buffs we do have, and adding them all together, it does work really well with like the daily perks. So those two do work well together. However, just as an overall update, and playing it at the time, really wasn't too great. So honestly, yeah, I'm just going to put that in kind of horrendous because it really was quite boring, and a lot of people were complaining at the time as well. Then we're going to move on to update 10. Now again, another controversial one. I'm going to put this one in horrendous. Really not following a good path with 7, 8, 9 and 10 all being down at the bottom here. But yeah, honestly, it didn't really add anything exciting. It seemed a little bit like a kind of cry for help in my personal opinion. We did get the new Bubble Festival area, which was sort of a fake grind area. People were complaining that the game is getting too AFK and there wasn't enough to grind. So they kind of forced a grind into the game by making coins really hard to get for this area, and added in of course the event eggs into here with the July 4th egg. The July 4th egg was pretty cool. It did have the patriotic robot on it, which is literally like the only decent pet out there, to be honest. However, because the grind was so forced, it really wasn't too great. The cool trio quest are kind of cool. However, it is just the Gem Genie reskin, so I'm not going to say it's anything crazy. We also have the Festival Pass. Again, I don't even bother with that thing, and I don't think anyone really bothers with it. The Spin to Win's alright, you can get some decent rewards from it, but again, it was just sort of meh. So honestly, yeah, update 10, I'm going to put it in horrendous because I don't think it was too great. Now we've got an update 11. Now this honestly was a saving grace kind of update. I'm going to put it in decent because again, there's only one feature in this update I think which was actually great, and that's going to be the milestones. The milestones are of course something everyone absolutely loved. It was a good grind because it actually had something rewarding at the end of it. Of course now we have like, I think it's +3 hatch from it. We've got more hatch speed, more luck, there was a lot of potions to get, and it just makes everything else in the game a little bit easier. Like enchanting's a lot easier and cheaper now. bubbling, you can get way more bubbles, which is absolutely insane. And of course, the maximum hatch you can get now is I think 11 on hatch day as well, with a maxed out milestones. Honestly, the milestones, big W. Everything else in the update was kind of meh though. Of course, we got the auto bubble from the mastery, which was only good for people who have infinity, unless you wanted to sit selling your bubbles all the time. We got the Federation egg as well. It wasn't meh, it's just kind of paid to win, I guess. But it's not even really paid to win. It's just in case you kind of wanted some new pets, I guess. But 400 Robux for pets that were really meh. Didn't really make sense. We got some new bounties as well and some brand new exclusive pets. So honestly, the only thing that really saves update 11 is the milestones. So congrats to finally adding in something in 5 updates, which actually meant something to the game. So honestly, yeah, kind of crazy that it took 5 updates to finally add something decent, but not too bad overall. Now we have update 12. Now again, this continued on the trend of adding buffs to the game. This added in the Rift summon. So pretty much any egg, permanent egg I think anyways, could actually be summoned by a Rift, well summoned in like the bubble shrine thing, with however long you want, up to 30 minutes, and of course 25 times luck as well. So honestly pretty cool. We did also get the bubble, like the Rift shard and charm and things like that as well, which of course you can get from hatching eggs over time, which again was pretty cool. We got some new masteries as well for these shards and stuff. However, I think another really good thing was just the egg. Honestly, the egg really was great for most people, because it had so many secrets in it, which were all quite cool to be fairly honest. And of course, they introduced a brand new infinity pet as well. We also got introduced to the infinity potions, which are now really overpowered. We got the super chest and key, which on this update were quite hard to actually obtain. However, it is quite overpowered, so it kind of makes sense. And of course, we got the Robux packs for getting a ton of these brand new potions as well. So honestly, update 12, top tier, very good update. Give me a ton of secrets, and I know it gave a lot of people a ton of secrets as well, and just had a lot of things that really kind of gelled well with a lot of the other things in the other updates. It made the daily perks a lot more overpowered, it made the milestones a lot more overpowered, the bubble shrine a lot more overpowered, just because we got the potions and the stuff like that as well. So honestly, update 12 really kind of finished off all of the rest of the updates, which kind of seemed a little bit more unfinished. Now we have update 13. Now this continues on for the 500 egg. However, we got another lot of good things in this update, to be honest. I'm going to put it in decent, just because it wasn't quite as good as update 12. However, we got the new B Rift, which was of course technically a secret rift, like the silly rift egg and all that kind of stuff. However, you could spawn this in with the bubble shrine, which was also pretty cool. And it was meant to last 2 weeks, but I think it lasted 3, to be honest. I'm not too sure though, don't quote me on that. We did get the secret bundle as well with the Eternal Heart. And of course, we got introduced to the new secret elixir. This is super overpowered. I think it gives you 2 times secret luck, but also makes mythic chance a lot harder. So that's pretty good as well. We also got introduced to the chest rift summoning as well. Enchant auto roll. This was absolutely huge because a lot of people hated just having to constantly click on it. And of course, we also got introduced to a lot of new special titles, which all kind of like went along with like the secrets and things like that. So honestly, really cool. Honestly, the update was actually quite good. Could potentially be in top tier, just because again it kind of continued on from how well update 12 kind of gelled everything else together. But just because it's not quite as good as update 12, I'm just going to put it down to decent, just because it just wasn't quite as good. Now we're moving on to update 14. Now this is meant to be where we was meant to get World 3. However, because it wasn't quite ready, we kind of just got a little bit of a hastily rushed update. Now this basically removed the 500M event, which again a lot of people loved that egg, so that was now gone. However, we did get the new Candia egg event, and we got season 5 as well, and competitive season 3. However, because it was meant to be World 3 and it was basically just a rushed filler update because it wasn't ready, it's going to go into a horrendous, to be honest. It could technically go into meh, but just because of how hyped World 3 was, and people were kind of getting a little bit tired of not having World 3, yeah, again, it really does go down to horrendous just because of how bad it was, to be honest. It's just an egg, and yeah, Season 3, Series 3 for the competitive stuff was okay, but again, honestly, you could get into top 5 by just AFK hatching, so it didn't really matter, to be honest. And Season 5 again was alright, but yeah, the Season 5 egg really was just way too easy to get. So honestly, horrendous update. And then we're moving on to update 15. Now, I don't really know where to rank this. It could go into top tier because it's a complete brand new feature. It took a while to kind of come out though, which can bring it down a little bit. And honestly, I'm going to put it into decent just because I don't think World 3 is quite finished just yet. Now, of course, we got a lot of new things in update 15. We got the old sailor quest, we got the fishing, we got the fishing bounties, the experience, the rods and all that kind of things, the fish index. There's a lot of things, however, just because it's not quite finished, it doesn't really feel quite finished just yet. I really do think it kind of brings it down just a little bit. It is quite a fun update, however, again, it is quite long. It's quite a long grind, which I honestly really do appreciate. This game really did need a new grind other than just getting secrets from eggs. So again, the fact that we can do some fishing is really, really cool. And of course, you can technically hatch and fish at the same time on certain eggs and in certain worlds, which again is pretty cool. However, honestly, I think update 16 may potentially go into the best update, to be honest, just because of how good I think it's going to be. It's going to add a lot of things in, which will kind of like finish off World 3 as well, which will be really, really cool. So honestly, update 15, very good update, however, just doesn't feel quite finished. And now we're going to need to decide what is going to be the best update. Now, technically, you could just say release was the best update because we wouldn't have the game without release. However, that would be too simple. Update 1 really was quite good and set a really good foundation for what updates should have been in the future. Same thing for World 2 update, update 3. Again, a lot of really good features in that and introducing like the new board and stuff. Update 5, again, quite decent. However, I'm going to give it to update 12 just because of how well it gelled together the rest of the worst updates that we had in the game. Update 7, 8, 9 and 10 really were the worst updates probably that we actually had in a row. Really, a lot of them weren't quite finished and a lot of them felt like they just were missing quite a lot of things. However, one feature from each of these updates worked so well once update 12 came out. It was so good. And honestly, I went from having 0 secrets in update 12 to having like 20 secrets in update 12, which is insane. Let's just say that. So for how well really it kind of felt like it kind of fixed the game, even though the game really didn't have like any bugs or problems, to be honest, at this time, it felt like it just kind of fixed hatching for how it should be. I was at 12.6 million eggs with no secrets until I finally got my first one. However, once update 12 dropped with all the brand new potions and all that, kind of like how well everything kind of came together, honestly, update 12 literally gave me so many secrets. I'm now at like 28 or something, which is insane. So it does really feel like update 12 kind of just finished the rest of the updates off. Something was missing just from every update, and update 12 seemed to just have it. So for me right now, update 12 is by far the best update we've had. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think of this tier list. Where would you put certain updates? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.